Most people don't know what is a war. Like for example, in India, though we have seen 4 wars, and America, probably in the post-World War I'm saying, America must have seen about 4 to 5 wars. But for India, the wars are fought on the border. Our soldiers have fought on the border, sacrificed their lives. But for the Americans, the wars are fought somewhere else. But just yesterday, we are commemorating the end of World War II. You ask the Londoners what war meant at that time, because every home was destroyed and around you there's a whole lot of destruction. That is not a joke. So virus is not as big as a war, though we have to handle it in a war footing. It is not as big, let's not magnify it that big, because being shot at, being bombed out is a different experience than right now this virus. It is not even being carried by some mice or mosquito or something else that we cannot control. We are the carriers. All we have to do is, if we behave responsibly and consciously, we can stop the virus in its tracks right now, because without us it can't go anywhere. When we are the transportation system for the virus, isn't it in our hands to stop? But that's not how a war happens. When a war happens, it's a totally different affair. So having said that, but at the same time, this is so universal, that is, this is literally covering the whole planet or the entire human population, so it is big, it is not small. Well, many things we have been doing. Well, all of you are entrepreneurs, what I say you may not like a little bit, but I want you to sit back and think, because right now, economy has sort of come to a near standstill situation. Your intelligence is turned against you for some reason, whatever the reason. Fundamentally, your intelligence is turned against you. There are only 2 kinds of sufferings in human life, physical suffering and mental suffering. If the virus gets us, then there is physical suffering, that's a different matter, we need to deal with it completely differently. The rest is all mental suffering. 95% of human suffering is mental suffering. What mental suffering means is, when it comes to suffering, you are on self-help. You don't need any outside help. Right now, sitting at home, you will think about something that may happen 10 days ago and already suffer something which does not exist. What is it that human beings are suffering? What happened 10 years ago, they still suffer. What happened 10 years ago does not exist. So what you are suffering is, you are suffering your memory. Or what may happen day after tomorrow, they already suffer. This means you are suffering your imagination. So if you're suffering your memory and imagination, one thing we need to understand is that as human beings, we have a very vivid sense of memory. That's why our lives are so rich. No other creature on this planet has the kind of memory and detailed memory as we have. And no other creature has a fantastic sense of imagination that human beings have. Now you're suffering your memory, you're suffering your imagination means you're suffering your evolution of becoming a human being. So most people would like to have half the brain that they have right now so that they can be peaceful.